Hello everyone, welcome to Learn Overflow. In this video, we will try to understand how you can use Jupyter Notebooks in Azure ML Studio. Like Azure Machine Learning Workspace, you will use Jupyter Notebooks. So Azure supports that for you. Azure helps you, provides you the way to use Jupyter Notebooks and other ML machine learning stuffs that we use on daily basis. So Azure helps you with that, so we can actually run our ML models on Azure. So here we'll understand how you can create a Jupyter notebook in Azure. So this video is about creating those resources or creating those boilerplate to run your Jupyter notebooks or other stuffs that we use inside your Azure portal. Okay, so let's start the steps. The first thing, before you actually start using Azure, remember you need an Azure subscription. That's the Microsoft Azure subscription. But if you don't have one, you can actually get it for free, and you can just sign up for a free trial of Azure and you can just check how you can do this. So for that, go to azure.microsoft.com/free. So azure.microsoft.com/free is actually gives you free Azure, like the free trial. It gives like free services. It provides you for free, and you can actually use it to understand how it works. So it gives you for 12 months free services. Okay, or it gives you 14,500 rupees credit to explore the Azure for 30 days. Okay, so you can actually use this to understand how Azure works, or is it useful for you or not, so that you can use it. So let's go back to our Azure portal. So for that, we actually visit portal.azure.com, and after we visit portal.azure.com, so this is the interface that comes up in front. So we'll just go to the resource group, and we will you can see whatever the resource groups you have, that's visible here. But for working with Azure ML, we need to create some ML Studio in Azure. So in Azure, we call it Machine Learning Studio, Azure Machine Learning Studio. So for that, let's create a resource for that. And here, whenever you try to create a new resource, it asks you which resource you want to create or what type of resource you want to create. So I will create, say, machine learning. So yeah, there's it is, machine learning resource you like I want to create as of now. So Azure provides this machine learning resources. Go to click on create. So it will just ask you for further details of whatever services you want. Okay, so for that, within the resource group, so resource group is like a bucket for you, and resource group is actually you just group a same type of resources, whatever you are working on. Say you are working on machine learning, so you just keep all machine learning stuffs in a different resource group. Or say you are working on some WordPress websites, so you will just group your website related stuff in another resource group. So that helps you in organizing the stuff. So in resource group, since I'm supposing that you were new to this stuff, so you just create one resource group. But in case you have a resource group, you will just continue with selecting this from here, like selecting your existing resource groups. So here I will create one for you. So I will name it, say, learn overflow. So that's the learn overflow resource group that I want to create, and I clicked OK. So this will create me a resource group. Next thing, yeah, I would love to, it would ask me for a workspace name. So the particular workspace that I would currently work on. Okay, so if you want to know what this workspace is, uh, this is like, okay, it says the workspace name must be unique within your resource group. that's the kind of workspace you are creating for, like the workspace you want to work on. Okay, so I will say it will be learn. Okay, no problem. I'm just keeping it a same name to just keep this stuff easy for me. After that, you can see it says for the region. So it's better to select a region near to you, like available region. So as of now, it says Central India is the nearest to me, and it's available. Or you, if you're for other regions, it's better to select a region nearest to you. Okay, there's no problem with regions. So if you just select a far off region, like a region from your actual location, then it might hamper your speed in connectivity. Very nominal, but yeah, it might happen. So it just select one which is available at of now, or you can select one that is that's it's automatically suggesting you to select. Okay, like few resources, like few stuffs that are available to particular regions only. So in that case, it would directly suggest you to select that particular region. So after you selected your workspace name, select your region, you just go ahead with your container registry is selected none, and it has taken all the default values. Unless and until you specifically need to change these values, it's better to go with the default ones. It has selected the best ones for you. Yeah, something more here, I had Visual Studio Enterprise subscriptions. So this provides me a subscription to use Azure, and but if you're trying it for free, or if you're just doing uh, using other subscriptions or Azure subscription, make sure you just select that one. So this is the four things that you need to look at. So first thing is subscription, next the resource group, workspace name, and the region. Other, let it be kept default, and like keep it default until you specifically need to work on that. Okay, so after that, we you can visit you can go for networking, you can go for advanced sections, you can go for tags. So as of now, just to know how a particular uh, Jupyter Notebook works in ML Studio, so you just don't need to go with all the details. So my Azure has already selected the default ones for you, and that's good to go. Like it's better to keep it default unless you actually want to like change something and you know what you are changing. So look, in networking it says public endpoint all networks. In advanced it is just selected whatever it is. Next thing is create. Okay, so this would create the resource, and this would take a small amount of time to just deploy your resources. Let's wait and let the resources be deployed. So here you see it gave you a small notification that your resource got created. Like if you look here carefully, the resource deployment is successful. So the resource you wanted to deploy, it's successful, and the next thing you should do is directly go for go to your resource and see what it is actually. So in this, you can see the name of the resource you said as it is, learn Overflow, and there's something you need to look carefully. First thing, the resource group name, location, that's the storage things it got created. Like okay, so in this resource group, sorry, in this resource, like machine learning resource you have right now, you actually need to use this studio web URL. So what is this? This would take you to um, Azure ML Studio. So that's the space where all the ML work happens in Azure. Okay. Therefore, if you're working with ML, so most of the time you just prefer using Azure ML Studio. Is the best one I have used till now. So either you can just click on this link and use like go to your studio, or directly click on Launch Studio. So it will just open up the studio in a different tab, and it may ask you to sign in, but yeah, it took me auto sign in for me. But yes, this is what the Azure Machine Learning Studio looks like. Okay, so here you can just work with like you can just explore how this works, how this is. So if you just want to create like new stuffs here, you can work with your notebook or something like that. If you want to create, you can work with that. But to run notebook, we will use compute, like compute instance, so that yeah, like Azure machine learning workspace. Okay, you can use it directly, but I'd say use compute instance for like compute instance gives you some like a kind of virtual machine to you. I'll show you in a second. Let's click on compute. So compute instance would actually give you a CPU or GPU instances, like whatever you prefer taking. You can take CPU or you can take GPU. So compute instance is much better for that. Oh, as said, you can directly have used like just to taste uh, a notebook, can simply use that. But if you need those ML packages or Art Studio or this kind of deep learning frameworks or GPU drivers, compute instance is the best one. Okay, there in compute it would give you other options like compute clusters. So compute clusters is basically used for training and batch interferencing of reinforcement learning workloads. There's a different inference cluster. So inference clusters is for Azure Kubernetes services that's used to deploy your model as a REST endpoint, and you can use attached compute. So that's for virtual machines like HD inside clusters. Okay, uh, that's for that purpose. So we'll use compute instance here. In compute instance, just go to create. We'll create a new compute instance. Remember, whenever you are creating a compute instance, it's costly, like it charges you money. Definitely, whenever you create a resource group, that too charges you money. But in compute instance, you are just using what a virtual machine type. So yeah, it you can just mm, like like what amount of money you need, like what amount of money you need to invest. You can invest, so you just select on basis of that. I think that's the plus point of using a cloud storage, a cloud based application. So I'll take CPU. If you need GPU, you can go with GPU, and the location, it's better to keep the location. You see, you cannot change the location because it's quite selected in whichever location your uh, like the Azure resource group is situated. So I'll select CPU in case you are working on something that requires some model that requires a GPU, so you can work with that. uh, in the virtual machine size, so it gives you options that select from the recommended options, like it gives you 2 3 recommended options for you, and alongside it shows you what's the exact costing for that particular virtual machine size. But let's not select this recommended option. Let's select from all the options it has. So in all the options you can see it shows you like the all the type of virtual machines it can create for you. Okay, uh, next thing is here I will select this one, like a 2 core virtual machine with 14 GB RAM and 100 GB of storage size. So it depends on you how much storage size you need, how much RAM you actually require. So it's just up to you, and you can use it as a required. So I'll just go with standard D11 V2. So V2 is basically that's the version 2 or whatever it is their name. So standard D11 V2, and click on next, and it will just ask you for the compute name. Okay, so compute name is something you need to provide. Okay, so compute name should be a unique name. So let's say we named it learn, and yeah, learn can be a name because there isn't any other compute instances. So in case you had previously created a compute instance, you could have used that one, but I'm showing you how to create a compute instance. And here, just create a compute instance, give it some time to get created, and this should actually show you the results. Like, let it be created. Alright, so here you see that the compute instance got created, and after that it's running for us. So in that it gives you four different options, application URL. So you can use Jupyter Lab. Just I will show you what this is. So whenever you click Jupyter Lab, it just opens up your instance, and look here what it is. So this is the whole Jupyter Lab that you get in a computer instance. Okay, so this is the way Jupyter Lab is. Let's not explore this much. You can use Art Studio as well. So once clicking on that, you will just see how this Art Studio looks like in uh, Azure, like the compute, like the Azure ML Studio. And here's the Art Studio for you. You can work on it if you're working on R. And lastly, we have Terminal. So in Terminal is basically the exact terminal that we see, and you can use this terminal for uh, working with Azure ML Studio. Okay, so there's the terminal we have, and just let it load and you can see how this looks like. So after that, after it just loads and you just figure out how it looks like, we'll use Jupyter page actually for our work. So here's the terminal, and this is looks similar. Okay, so we'll just close it, and we'll actually use Jupyter for our uh, purpose here. So this Jupyter is actually the one we use. Okay, so it shows this kind of stuff. So in that, this is the basic Jupyter interface we have. You can actually work with Python 3, Python 3.6, Azure ML R. You can just create new like these are the notebooks. If you want to create, you can create new text file, new folder, or you could go to the terminal within the Jupyter. Okay, so let's go to the terminal and try to say clone some documents from GitHub, like some notebooks from GitHub. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is you need to move to that user folder. So cd users, and within that users you need to do a git clone, and that would be of HTTP. We'll just clone from github.com/, we'll use some of the Microsoft docs, like the one easily available, like for example purpose. So we'll use Microsoft docs, and then we will use ML basics. So Microsoft Docs has an ML basics for us, and using that ML basics it will actually help us like exploring the stuff and just showing you a demo. This ML basics is a good one. It's not a huge directory, but it's just an 8 MB file, around 8 MB. So pretty much small directory to explore. Okay. So after this command has completed, so we'll just check out the files is done or not. We'll just close this particular terminal tab we have here, and we'll just start exploring our users folder, and we'll figure out what ML basics folder has. So just a few seconds more and it will be done. After that, close the terminal window, like the browser tab for terminal. Here we have users. Open this users. So in this users, you can file ML basics, and ML basics here. The whole stuff is here. Okay, so the complete like the different notebooks are here. So in case you want to set up this uh, the whole thing in your local machine, and you want to run these labs on your computer, like whatever the particular the stuffs are there in your in this ML basics works, like the ML basics Git repository. So you can use this instructions to just run these labs on your computer, or like using just using on your local machine using Visual Studio Code. All right. So let's not explore this. Close this, and I'll just open up like the first notebook that we have here, so that you can understand how it goes. So just open up the first notebook, and this notebook is about exploring, uh, like exploring data, or data explorations we call it. And this notebook is data exploration with Python. So this is the notebook we will see. You will see in my next video, definitely. So that's how you see we have created. I'll just run the first cell for you and show you how this actually work. And look, this run, like this thing is working for us. Okay. So here you have created, like opened the Jupyter Notebook, maybe in case. So I'll just leave this side, no problem. You see that this is running after you just were done with your task and whatever it is. So it's important that you shut down your uh, every task you started here. Well, I'll just shut down all the terminals, because first time I opened the terminal there using the link, and after that within the Jupyter interface, there's the two stuff. We just started two terminals. So here I just shut down everything. It's important that you shut down your uh, running notebooks after you're done with the working, and it's also important that you stop your compute instance, because unless you stop this, it will just go on charging you money, and after that you will see a huge amount bill has been created just because you just forgot to stop this compute instance. So it can be a huge problem, but just like $0.17 per hour, or you can even go for a cheaper one, like $0.1 per hour. Charges is good, like that's not pretty high, it's more or less a good amount. So let's stop this, and I'll show you how you can clean up this whole stuff. Okay, so after it stops, I'll just delete this compute instance, so that this like I don't need it as of now. I will use a different way to use the data exploration in my next video. Definitely check it out. So look, this is stopped, so I'll just delete it. So it says you have requested to delete, and this would lose all your access. Yeah, that's good, no problem with that. So let's delete it. After deletion, I'll just delete the whole say the resource group that I created in here. I'll delete this resource group as well. So let's first delete this compute test instance and finish this task here. Just a small amount of time it requires for deletion, and definitely it will be done in some time. So here it says that the compute instance got deleted. I'll just close this tab for us, and I'll also delete this particular resource group we have. So go to the resource group, click on the resource group you want to delete, and just delete resource group here. So this will ask you to type the name of the resource group. So that's learn overflow, and delete. This will delete the resource group learn overflow, and this will definitely take small amount of time and it would be done. So thank you everyone for watching this video. Hope to see you soon in my next video. Definitely in my next video I will tell you about data exploration in Python. Okay, so data exploration, and I'll use that exact ML basics notebook that I showed you in the video. So thank you all. Hope to see you soon in my next video. But don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and comment down your thoughts and the exact process you use. Thank you.